different randomly selected album from Enemy Magazine's Top 500 Albums of All Time list.
Yes, Brady and Helio pushing it to the limit. From now on, Brady and Helio will do a little of this, a little of that. Maybe sometimes we'll do some classic stuff, and we'll do whatever. 100 years of Brady and Helio not sticking to one path, trying different. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait. Helio, what did you just say?
What? Nothing.
Mr. Engineer.
Oh.
Play back and isolate Helio's audio just from that last minute there.
Oh yeah, and then you guys will like get married in a testosterone-addled wedding and suck each other off.
Oh, sick. Sick, Helio.
I didn't mean
it. You ruined it. You ruined the Primal Scream premiere.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for being a Rick and Morty fan, hopefully.
Please leave us a review, a rating, or find us on TikTok to see what we're listening to on a daily basis. Enjoy the show.
This episode is brought to you by Different Class Orange Juice. When you're looking for that crisp orange flavor with a small indie farm feel, reach for that carton of Different Class Orange Juice, now available in pulp, no pulp, and surprisingly still really good, fermented for 24 years between production with pulp edition. Now on shelves everywhere.
One, two. Yeah, two. Okay.
Okay. I think we're far enough outside of Rick and Morty discourse that we're allowed to make a reference and not be tagged as like toxic people, right?
I think so.
Okay. Well, for the soundtrack this week, we are nearing the end of the year. Not quite Christmas time, or we'll talk Christmas stuff down the road, but time enough for us to look back and say, do you have an album of the year or something you've heard this year that you're like very into?
Yeah, man, it's definitely obviously the point of this show is finding new music, kind of opening our horizons.
Yeah,
and plenty of candidates for sure. I think if I had to pick like a couple albums that were like most impactful for the year, it would definitely be Justice's Cross album. You know, I think that kind of broke down the barrier to say like, oh yeah, I can not only like electronic music, but I'm actually like inspired to get into it and mess around with it and find more artists like that. I think in the same vein, you know, when we did the Noi episode, you know, that was another one with like krautrock where it's like, okay, this is a whole new well of, you know, music here that I haven't heard yet, and it goes in so many different directions. But I think, you know, as far as new stuff goes, I'm gonna be, you know, old man almost set in his ways on it, and I think I would pick the Nine Inch Nails, you know, soundtrack for Tron Ares. I think for me that was it's a great mix of like, yes, it's an artist and a sound I'm pretty familiar with, but I also thought, you know, for Nine Inch Nails, it was a good middle ground of forward thinking, but still some of those same musical ideas that I've come to love. And yeah, just seeing Nine Inch Nails as Trent and Atticus Ross doing, you know, pretty much straight ahead rock type stuff, you know, with the industrial electronic feel, it hit the spot for me. As far as 2025 things, like probably some of the most listens that weren't, you know, live shows. There's plenty of Zappa things or all the Fugazi live shows that, you know, I've listened to endlessly. But as far as new music goes, I think that's the one that stuck with me this year.
Yeah. Officially, my album of the year is still 2022's Bleed Here Now by Angel Dose by the Trail of Dead, which it has been for every year since it came out. But yeah, if we're talking like something just new that I heard that's not of this year and pod related, I don't think anybody will be shocked to hear that I probably put Graham Parsons' Grievous Angel at the top of that list. That was one we kind of stumbled into where I was like, oh, okay, that's, you know, I talk about on the show. There's kind of an inexplicable love of kind of that sort of kind of, it's not the outlaw country rock, but it's Yeah,
The
it's
Jeff
his kind of
Tweedy
country rock.
Americana.
I didn't know what it was, but it's basically Graham Parsons
Right.
country rock. So yeah, that kind of landed and was like, oh, okay, so that's what that is. That's what I can say now or tell people, like that's the thing. Um, for releases that actually are from this year, and I also wanted to say, as I was going over like the Rolling Stone and the Pitchfork, top 100s of the year, like
Mhm.
it's kind of ironic that we are trying as we did start the show to try and expand our horizons and like connect with stuff, like the thing that's I mean we're both over 40, so we have a good excuse, but the thing we're not really doing is like super engaging with brand new music. There's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of stuff on the list that like I see, like Geese and Wednesday and some other stuff where I'm like, oh right, I've heard that name. I know people are saying it's good, but like between just personal fun listening and like listening for the show, like I don't think I've got time to really digest most of the stuff that people are saying like it's the best of new stuff of the year.
The Geese drop is funny because I tried to put that on the car yesterday, having never heard it as well, and kind of like, okay, what's this all about? And it certainly started interesting, but I think because there were other people in my car, it got about 1.5 songs in before it was like, can we put on
Somebody was
something
like,
else,
get the hell
please?
yeah, get
Yeah.
this out.
Get these geese out of the car.
Yeah, well, just to round that out, like Rolling Stones number one of the year is the Bad Bunny album, Debi Terrar Ma Fotos. So I think maybe I have time in my life to at least check out like the top 1 through 3 for each of these lists and be like, okay, let's what's the majors? What are they saying like is can't miss or something like that.
And at
Um,
least, on the Stone list, number 2. I know you like the Lady
Yeah,
Gaga.
I was about to bring that up. If we're gonna actually make this a release from this year, another thing that, again, if you listen to the show, you're probably not gonna be shocked by. If I truly am limited to things that came out in 2025, I think Lady Gaga's Mayhem is my favorite of the year. It has an energy that I've figured out how to sum up thusly. Do you recall? I can't remember if it's his stand up or his TV show, but do you recall the Dave Chappelle bit where he's talking about Kobe Bryant going through like assault accusations in the middle of a season, and he's like, I'm not going to be able to say the full quote, but he says he's playing like a judge tossed him a ball and said, "Play for your life." Like
Insert. Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
exact same energy I get from Mayhem, probably coming off of the like historic bomb of Joker 2, and which is maybe the end of her like major, you know, her possibly the end of her acting career. I say probably not. I mean she's got enough resources to, if she wants
It-
to, she can come back.
yeah. It's
And
probably the end of that franchise for
yeah,
both of them, I would say. But
and for the
maybe not
record,
their fault.
for the record, everybody loves A Star Is Born, but I just wanted to say for the record, I also really liked House of Gucci. So,
Right.
but yeah, like it has that same energy. Like she came back with like an actual, like a literal urgency to like nail this or die. It seemed like she was like, there's no way if I put up Joker and then a bad album that like things are going to be the same. So yeah, it just has a ton of tracks that sound like hits, and they sound like hits where like nobody would have hated her for saving 2 to 3 of them and being like, hey, this is for this is for later, or like spread them out over a couple albums.
Right. Definitely loaded. So I guess Lady Gaga's on there. I was looking through the list as well. The top 50 from this Rolling Stone here. Pulp. Where does that land for you in the grand scheme of things? I know that was one we were pretty excited for.
Okay, 1 second. I gotta get somebody some milk here.